I wasn't planning to do another collection video this soon, but I got a few requests, partially from my friend NCO Pictures, to show off my Ertl collection ever since it started growing. It's funny, as a kid I mostly had Wooden Railway and some Take-A-Lon. I only ever had 3 Ertl Thomas items as a kid, and lost 2 of them. But I've been starting to build up a collection due to the fact that I found that, thanks to Leo Kim Video, they look great on a monorail layout, and can be a much cheaper alternative to Bachmann. Not to mention, my collection recently tripled in size because I was given a lot of it from Train 2589. Without further ado, here's what I've got. To begin, here are the standard gauge steam engines. I have 2 Thomases. The one on the left came from the aforementioned lot, and the one on the right is the only remaining Ertl item from my childhood. And yes, I'll admit it, it's seen better days. I played with this and the Take-A-Lons a lot outdoors, and as a result, the paint is extremely faded, and the face is almost as yellow as a Chicago Northwestern locomotive. Not to mention, the wheels are barely hanging on. I'm thinking about making this into a replica of the blown up Thomas from Leo Kim's Mad Bomber video. Would anyone be interested in seeing that? Let me know in the comments. Next engine I have is Edward. The only reason I know I had an Ertl Edward as a kid was because one appeared in a photo of me as an infant. This is not the original. I recently bought this from Scott Miller when he was trying to sell off his collection. Apart from the missing paint on the smoke box and cap roof, this was not in very bad shape. Perhaps I could touch it up in the future. Next is an Ertl Henry. This too is another Ertl I remember having as a kid, and I sadly lost the original many years ago. I was itching to get a replacement at some point and picked this one up off of eBay. This is in really good condition. There are a few paint chips, and I noticed the front of the running board seems slightly warped, but I can overlook that. It also came with a collector's card, which indicates to me that this Henry model was from the Shiny Type Station era. You know one of my favorite things about the Ertl Henry? It's one of the few Henry models that doesn't have the wheel splasher, Season 1 style. I really wish they kept this look from Season 2 onwards. Next up is Percy, another one I got from the lot. He's in pretty fair condition too, besides the fact that one of his cylinders broke off, but I'm still happy to have one. I've also got 2 Tobys, both of which also came from the lot. As revealed in a previous video, I modified one of them to have HO wheels. Now that one can make for a great substitute to the Bachmann Toby. Even better, you can't really tell which one's the modified one and which one's the unmodified one until you look underneath them. Can you figure it out? Next we've got Bill and Ben. Yet again, these came from the lot, and are in pretty good condition too. But I'm the only one who thinks their faces are kinda creepy. It's gotta be the outline of the eyes. Someone on Twitter did a quick Photoshop of them without them, and it makes a huge difference. Finally, we finished off with Stepney, another model from that lot. I wish I had more to say about him, but I don't. He does have quite a few paint chips though, especially on his cap roof, but at least I can tell he's been loved. You can never go wrong with having a Stepney anyway. Coming out next is the standard gauge diesels. All these came from the lot for starters, and I've got D261, Derek, Bert, and D199. I gotta give Ertl great credit for the fact that they made several Railway series characters, probably one of my favorite parts about them. Derek is the one in the best condition, and sometimes I put him on an HO flat car, along with Henry, and run him around the layout. Inspired by what the Toot Shoot Barn did with one of the large Ertl Thomases on their layout. Bert, meanwhile, is missing a buffer, and honestly, when I got these, I couldn't tell if it was him or Ari. I had to ask around with some other Ertl experts if they knew which twin it was. Either way, I'm keeping him as far away from Stepney as possible. Now for the Scarloy Railway engines. All of them except Duncan, which was another purchase from Scott Miller, came from the lot. I got him, 2 Scarloys, Renee's, Sir Handel, and Duke. One of the Scarloys and Sir Handel are in great condition, but Renee's is probably the one in worse condition sadly, next to my childhood Thomas. He has a lot of paint chips and the stickers seem to be fading away. One thing I gotta bring up, which my friend Zephyr4501 pointed out, is that the Skarloey railway models are shaped closer to their Talflin counterparts. How about that? On a side note, one of the Skarloeys is in worse condition than the other, but I was thinking about repainting it into a custom of Rusty's Ghost engine. Thoughts on that idea? Next, I have all three of the Coley Fell engines. Godred and Lord Harry came from the lot, and Coley I brought from Tom T. Legend on Twitter. I love these guys. It's a real shame they never made it into the TV series. I recently tried filming a remake of Bad Lookout, though I may redo it. I definitely would love to have a Catherine so that I could truly say I have every Coley Fell model they produced. Not counting the prototype truck that got leaked recently. At least Ertl made more engines than just Goldie. Here's the rolling stock I got. I have 3 old coaches, one of which came from the lot, and the other 2 I purchased at a train show new in a box. You can send me all the hate mail in the comments you want for opening them. I've also got an old slow coach. Are you noticing a pattern here? Which came from a lot, and she's in great condition too. And a Chinese dragon flatbed, but no Chinese dragon. I'll explain how I got this in a little bit. Finally, I have a Toad, which I also brought from Tom T. Legend. Sadly, I don't have Oliver yet, but it's interesting what people have pointed out with how much larger Toad is than him. Heck, I think he could pass off as an HO/double model myself, though I have yet to swap out the wheels. Maybe if I get another Toad, I'll do that. Finally, we reached the non-rail characters I have. Here's a Terrence I got from the lot too, and he's also in very good condition. I was originally wanted to get a Bachmann Terrence, but now that I got this guy, I'm selling for him. Especially since I saw a Bachmann one going for $46 at a hobby shop while visiting the Western Maryland Scenic Railroad. Yikes. Next up is Trevor. I got him off of eBay, and interestingly, he came with the Chinese dragon flatbed that I mentioned earlier. Apparently they never came together, so I'm not sure why the seller paired them. Maybe they got confused with the scrap Trevor model. He's in near mid condition apart from like 3 paint chips, though I can't help but notice that his face looks slightly different from most other Trevor models I've seen online. Next up is Harold, another one from the lots, but sadly his propellers are broken. I don't know what to do with him sadly. If he had them, I'd use him in a video. Anyone know where I could get new propellers? Then we got Thumper from the lot. Apparently it helps collect rocks faster. Not much to say about him besides that he's in fairly good condition and would be ideal for a Bachmann remake of Rusty and the Boulder. Finally, I got a conductor figure from the lot. It was originally chipped all over, so I'm working on repainting this into a marble statue for my layout, which was inspired by another HO layout I was shared with by Soundwave 3591 that uses a Bachmann Fat Controller figure as one. And that, ladies and gentlemen, wraps up my Ertl collection as of this video. What do you think? I definitely plan on getting more. I had some ideas to get some DFUs and gunpowder vans and keep bashing them into double 9 wagons. I would kill to have 10 cents in sunshine. But all in all, I'm quite pleased with how my Ertl collection has turned out. If you ask me, it's one of the best Thomas & Friends merchandise ranges that has ever existed.